quick question. What is the update? How is Bryan Antoine doing?
You know, he just started practicing also. Jay, you know what? It's so funny. I think this is a little gift from God here today. You're the only player that's ever had, well, you had more injuries than he did, but the timing of his injuries are just incredible. Like, you know, he finishes high school year, he goes through the whole spring, he can't play because he's got a bad shoulder. And then when he can't get the shoulder checked because he's out of high school, he's not in college yet, he gets here to start the summer, he gets his shoulder checked, torn labrum. So now he has no summer workout, he has no fall, and he misses his freshman year. As soon as he comes back towards the end of his freshman year, COVID-19 hits. So he misses the whole spring, the whole summer. He comes back in the fall, he starts working out. He hurts his shoulder again. And then he comes back from shoulder injury and we go on quarantine again. He hasn't been, he's got the worst luck. Now, no one really would understand that except you. You didn't have COVID-19, but you had so many. How many? Did you have 7 surgeries? I had
7 operations. So 5 surgeries because I had the double knee. I had double knee twice. So 7 operations. Terminology, 5 different surgeries.
The one that blew my mind the most was when you had a knee surgery. You're coming back, battling back from it. We play at Providence. We have a great win on the road at Providence. You play great. We're starting to think, oh my God, we're going to get this guy. If this guy's ever healthy, he's going to be one of the best players in the country. And you break your hand in that game. So the knees are fine now. You break your hand. It was unbelievable. That's kind of what Brian's going through. I should have you talk to him. And so he's literally like a freshman in the summer of his freshman year right now. But he's got great faith like you, and he's got a great attitude. And it's just hard because everyone expects him that you're supposed to be one and done. And he literally hasn't played in 2 years.
And I'll say the biggest thing with that, it sounds cliche, but when you say the faith, that's the only thing that got me through. It's, you know what I can liken on to that make it most understandable is we talk about the stone cutter and tapping and tapping and tapping and tapping. And you know, it's the hope of it. 100% at some point, one of the blows is going to make the masterpiece. Faith-wise, I just knew. I have encounters with God. Encounters. I knew it wasn't. He isn't and wasn't just some guy in the sky. Was some thought. Was some hope. I had encounters with the Spirit, and I knew it to be real 100%. And I knew the word to be real. So at some point, something had to work out. And I think for me, it was a little bit different at the end. I told this story a couple of times. We had the senior banquet, and I can't remember which alumni it was, but you'll probably remember because he had 3 daughters. They were all dressed up in the Villanova cheerleading outfits, and we're at the senior banquet.
Could have been Kerry Kittles at the time?
It wasn't Kerry. It was someone else. Right. And what it was, he said to me, he said, "Hey, Jay, I just want to tell you something," because it was all over. And I remember that year I was devastated because remember I was getting DMPs that year. I remember I was hurt. My senior year was the worst, injury-wise. And I remember at the end, I said, "Lord, you told me this was your year." I interpreted when God said this is my year, meaning he says it's his year, God's year, that it meant, all right, I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to show everyone you hold on to faith. Look what guys do. I'm going to go to NBA and everything else is going to be great. And then what I found out, what I come to learn was it was the worst year injury-wise, playing time-wise. It was just terrible in that sense. And then an alumni comes up to me. He said, "Hey, Jay, you have done so much for my family, my wife, and our relationship and our marriage, and then it helped our kids." He said, "Me and my daughters pray for you literally every single night." And we saw that regardless of what happened, you never wavered in your faith. I remember this line. He said, "Well, we could have understood that if you kept your faith and then you became healthy and you were blown going up like Randy is, because remember, Randy was slotted to go highest in the draft. It was a high lottery. And he said that would have been one thing. But the fact that it never, ever came together for you basketball-wise as a player, and you didn't change, that was impactful. And then he walked away, and a light bulb went off in my head. And then I said, I get it. It was your year, Lord. Because he, we said the first rule is not about you. But I think, I'm not saying that's going to happen with him, but what I'm saying is the point is the faith was the only thing that got it through. And if I can give him a line or two to say, it would be that just literally worry about the things you control. Do not worry about the things that you can't. And ask God to grant you the serenity to understand the difference between the two. So you
know what's tough for a young guy, and you had to go through it too. Like, you were so highly touted. I tell your story to our guys all the time. And you had beaten LeBron James in high school. His only loss. It wasn't like it was overhyped. I mean, it happened. I mean,
right.
you did it, and the whole time you're playing, you had injuries, and people are like, well, all right, he's going to come back from this injury. Everything's going to be fine. He's going to be LeBron. Like the expectations of everybody putting that pressure on you all the time. You handled it so well, and and I think that pressure gets to him sometimes, and and you understand that it's hard, because you're just trying to get yourself healthy. Everybody else, they don't even care about healthy. They care about, all right, when are you going to be a lottery pick?
Right. Right.
Like, lottery pick, I can't even practice.
Right.
He's handled it so well though. But I really think it's going to work out for him. It's just not going to be on the path that fans want it to be.
Yeah. And there's a plan, and it's always a good plan. It's always a great one when you're in with God. And I think he'll be all right. As long as he sticks to the Lord and his faith, he'll be good. And again, when I say sticks with God and his faith, obviously that requires us to work in such a way that we pleasing unto God, meaning he's there as a student. He's going to work hard as a student. He's there when he starts to practice, he's going to practice like a madman in a good way. And he's going to work hard. And those opportunities are going to come for him, and he'll make the best of it. So it'll be exciting to watch his progress.